Hello everyone, welcome back to One Soul at a Time. If you're new here, I welcome you. My name is Fifi. Always, I bring us the heart and the mind of God. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you guys for what you do. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you so much for helping me build this community. I welcome you. And my friends on Facebook, my friends and families on Facebook, I welcome you guys. Thank you guys so much for what you're doing. Thank you so much for encouraging me. Thank you for introducing this video to others. Thank you guys so much for what you are doing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Thank you so much for telling others about what God is doing in our lives in this season so that they too can open up and understand what God intends for their life, their death, so that they too can go for their destiny. I welcome you guys again. Like I always say, please, if you find this video helpful, kindly share, for there is someone out there that will always and also benefit from this message that God is relating to his people today. Let us not hold back every good information that you know that can help somebody else out there. Do that as well, and somebody also will be blessed by it. Thank you so much once again. Today, God wants to talk to us about naming things. Naming, like calling things, what the name that we call things. You know, in the Bible, the book of Genesis, the Bible says that, and God created all the animals, and he brought them to Adam to see what he will name them. He brought the animals that, not that God could have named those animals, but he brought it to a man, someone that he has created in his image. He brought those things to him and watch him see what he's going to name them. He didn't. I don't think God said, Adam, take this animal, I'm bringing these animals to you so that you can name them. No, I don't think God did that. But God brought them, watching him to see what he's going to name them. If we can understand, or in my own understanding per se, or kind of revelation, and now understand that I don't think that Adam equally named those animals immediately that God brought them to him. I believe that he took his time. He didn't just say, okay, your name is going to be elephant, your lion, you're a goat, you're a sheep, you're a snake, you're this one. No. I'm sure God allowed him to understand that you are made in my image. I created this earth and I'm placing you here. Let's see. I think Adam watched those animals and see their character. He looked at them. He took his time to watch them before he could now say, yeah, you're going to be a lion because you're fearless. You rule. You control. I see the way other creatures, other animals, I see the way they are scared of you. Though you might be scared, but you don't let it show. You know how to control your emotions somehow. That is why I think that's why they are scared of you. The way you control things. That is why they stay away from you. You don't really talk much. you don't act when it's not necessary. Lion will come to understand this. They say sleeps for 20 hours and hunt for 4 hours. 24 hours in a day. I'm not saying one should relax and sleep. He takes his time. He meditates. He thinks. You know that he planned before he goes out. So that the moment he gets there, he will just get whatever he has stepped out to do without being afraid of what is going to happen. He will just sit down, think, plan, then step out and conquer. I'm sure that was why Adam named that particular animal lion. And when it comes to snake, the Bible tells us he's settled. He's wise. If he's not, God wouldn't have asked us to be wise as snake. His original nature wasn't to crawl with his belly. That happened after he deceived Eve. That became his punishment. Adam must have watched that one too and see how he does his things with wisdom. He doesn't just wake up and start doing everything. He thinks. Whatever thing that he applies, he used wisdom. He's wise. And Adam must have watched this thing for a very long time and said, there's something different about this particular being. I'm going to name him, or I'm going to name it snake. Child of God, remember that nobody knows Adam's language. Hebrew just came after they came out from Egypt. Snake and lion is an English word or Hebrew word that was translated. What am I arriving at? Just like Adam watched all those animals before he decided on what to name them. What are you naming your situation? God created those animals and brought them to Adam to see what he's going to name them. Any situation, any circumstances that comes your way, God allows it. It might be the enemy that threw them at you, but God allow. If God doesn't allow, there are so many things that God has prevented us from seeing or witnessing. But each and every circumstances that God has allowed you to witness is for a purpose, to see what you're going to name that thing. Are you going to say, oh, this is my end? Are you going to name it your end? Or are you going to say, this is my launching pad? Oh, wow, God. This is my new beginning. This is that prayer. This is the answered prayer that I've been praying for. This is the opportunity for me to be known all over the world. This is the opportunity for me to become. No, these circumstances. you must have, or you might have come in this manner, but I am going to determine your name. I'm going to name you. I'm going to name you, and whatsoever I name you, that is what you're going to answer. Right now, you are my breakthrough. You are my success. You are that opportunity that I've been waiting for. Wow. You are my answered prayer. The container that you came in with, or the container that brought you here, may look as if it's tattered, broken, confused, disorganized, disoriented. But hey, I am going to name you. And whatsoever I name you is what you're going to answer. Could be sickness. Oh, you're coming, my breakthrough, you're coming through as a sickness. Yeah. Now I know that my ministry entails healing people. It's the area of healing. Okay. I'm going to watch God teach me why they call him Rapha. I'm going to sit down and allow God to show me why they call him Jireh. This loss, this contract that I missed, okay, I'm going to name you. I'm not going to wallow in pity and cry because I lose a contract, because I lost that job, okay. Firing me from a job is a sign that I need to step up, that I've stayed here for a very long time. It is now for me to discover. This job lost, I'm going to call you my discovering to success. My discovering to a breakthrough. My discovering of becoming somebody that will employ other people. To show other people how it is done. Now it is time for me to start practicing that thing that I've been thinking. I've been wanting to venture. I've been thinking and talking to myself that if I have the opportunity, this is exactly what I would like to do. I think this is the time. Thank you for losing my job. Okay. I'm going to name you. I'm not going to sit down, cry, wallow in pity, or start worrying how my bills are going to be paid. If I want my bills to be paid, I have to start doing something right now. And I'm not going out again hunting for a job. Let me start practicing how to make hair that I've been thinking of. I've been wanting to go into this business. Let me just use this time and study about this business. I've been wanting to go for a training for a very long time. I think this is the time. If God didn't know that, or God didn't know that this is the time for me to step out, or maybe I've wasted so much time, he wouldn't have allowed them to fire me. I am his child. I go to church. I pay my tithes. Because he said that when we pay our tithes, he's going to rebuke the devourers for our sake. For him to allow this thing, I'll see him as him bringing the animals to me to see what I'm going to name them. I'm not going to name them as my loss, no. It's an opportunity. It is an opportunity. Why is it that this thing is always like this? Why is it that this thing, each time I fix it, let me just find out how to do this right. This is an opportunity for me. Child of God, this is what God is coming out to tell us, to make us understand that most times, some circumstances that comes our way is not necessarily the devil trying to destroy us or to kill us or to stop us. No, this is God coming to tell you, no, stop. You've been wasting time. Stop. You've been here for a very long time. Stop. It's time for you now to think. It's time for you now to arise and become. Just like Adam did. Start naming things the right way. What are you looking at? Yeah, you might have been naming that thing wrongly for a very long time. Remember Jabez? His name means sorrow, pain. But his name was changed. And he became successful. Today, like Jabez, rename those circumstances. Rename them. They hated you. That was why they did that and they fired you. No. Just renamed it. They believe that you want more than this place. That was why they fired you. Now it is time for you to discover yourself. It's time for you to discover who you are. It's time for you to go for that dream, that thing that has been so much. Each year is becoming stronger and stronger in you to step out and do these things. It is time for you to step out and do them. Rename them. Rename those circumstances that you're looking at. Rename them. You've applied for a job, not that you are not qualified. After your last employment, it's getting to 3 years now and you're still looking for a job. Don't you think that God is saying something? Now what you're doing is just what you just manage. You call it managing. No. God allow you to be doing that manual or that little hours or that job that you're doing right now so that you can have time to develop yourself. God wants you to rename that circumstances. He wants you to rename that situation. Just sit down. Now watch how long that thing that came to you has lingered and you've refused to give it the right name. And that is why he's sitting with you there. God is calling on us today to stand up. Look at that. Take another look on that thing again. Take another look. But this time, look at it differently. Now that you've heard his voice. He wants you to look at that situation, that circumstances differently. Stop praying about it. Start looking at it differently. It's okay. He heard you. That is why he's coming to tell you this. What are you looking at? What do you want to name it? It's your decision. You called on him and he answered. So he's telling you to rename that thing, that circumstances, that situation that you're looking at, that you think that will want to take you down. God is saying, no, rename it. See an opportunity to develop yourself. See an opportunity to go for that course, that training. See an opportunity to go higher, to soar. Stop seeing that thing as a failure. You didn't fail. Hey, you don't understand. You don't know why. Because you don't understand what you don't understand what I've went through. I've tried this one. I've tried that one. It is okay to fail in a business. That is what is called a learning process. If you know how you did it before and it failed, when you go back this time around, don't do it the same way. Try a different route. Do it differently. That same thing, do it differently. And see the outcome. Electric bulbs that you're looking at right now, that you're using, that you're enjoying. Somebody tried it 1,000 times. 1,000 times. I didn't say 100, 1,000 times. And because he refused to give up. If this one doesn't work, I'll try it like this. If this way doesn't work, I'll try it like... It's just like cooking a food. Because we've come to believe that this a particular religion, this is the actual... You must add this one before you add this one. This one comes in first. No. If you had decided to try, okay, maybe they say you put salt before you put oil. Or you put oil before you put salt. Start putting salt before you put oil and see the outcome. That is why we've been limited. or it looks as if that we've been failing because they've told us that that is how somebody tried it out that way and it worked for them. Now they've made it a religion, it's a tradition that this is exactly how who said so? That was the person's discovery. Now the person is coming to tell you it must be like this. Before it becomes that thing, it must be like this. No. Try them. Go back and try that business again. Yeah, you wrote a song, you sang a song, you produced a song, nobody bought. Go back and do it again. Okay, how is the music industry now? How does it operate? Did you do those research before you stepped in, or you just enter the studio and start thinking the words that you wrote down? If it was an inspiration from God, it is definitely going to seal. God doesn't just give us we are for giving sake. You just wake up and start. No. If you're in tune with the Spirit of God, He's definitely going to tell you what to write. He's going to tell you what is going to sell. And when that happens, the mistake that we always make is that the moment that comes, we don't take time. We don't take time to master those things. Master them. Do them yourself. Learn the mistakes. As you're training yourself, you're making mistakes and you're doing correction. As you're making mistakes, you're doing corrections. Okay, you failed in this way. I'm going to try it another way. You don't just learn and just jump out. That is why most people, their business is not that they don't know what they're doing, but they don't know what to do, but they don't take time to learn mistakes. What are you saying? Yeah, to learn mistakes. To learn this is how to, if you do this one, you're going to make me, it's going to come out wrong. That is learning mistakes. If this thing is going to come out wrong, next time you will not do it that way. Start renaming those things, those circumstances that God has allowed to come your way. God is speaking. When He gives you something, don't just run out. You're going to, you say, oh, if I don't do it now, what time? Time is running away. Who gave you the idea in the first place? If it's from God, does He live in time? He lives out of time. So why are you rushing? Why are you in a hurry to send it into the market, to start introducing it to people? When they look at it, you want something that when you bring it out, somebody else can introduce people to that particular product. Whatsoever it is, you want to do it in a situation that if the person comes, the person will always come back to patronize you. That is what good product does. It sells itself. A good product sells itself. It doesn't need too much advert. It sells itself. Oh, wow, this is nice. Where did you get it from? Oh, it's so person that I just got a so person. Just a small business. So person that with this technology and all this YouTube and influencer, you don't know who is going to come in contact with your product that is so perfect and excellent, and they will introduce it. Before you know it, now you're struggling to supply because the demand will be too much for you. That is why it is always good to sit down. We've all made that mistakes. Yes, now I'm learning how to sew clothes. I'm learning how to make clothes. I'm learning. You're telling people, and people will want to patronize you. Fine. You tell them you know how to make clothes. They will send one material fabric to you, and you mess that fabric up. If you are the person, will you come back? No. Take your time. It doesn't matter how long it takes, even if it takes you 2 years, but perfection is the best. So that when you are bringing that product out, it's going to stand out and be different from what every other person is. The same. It is in the market, fine, but yours will stand out. And it's going to stand the test of time. You want to come out with something that when people, the product that people see it, they want to, is something that they want to recommend to other people and they want to come back themselves and buy. Stop saying, they say this one is, I should do this one. I tried it and it didn't work. Go back and try that same thing again. God is saying, go back and this time, do not be in a rush to come out. Don't. People might be laughing at you. Fine. Let them laugh at you. A wise person will go back and sit down and go back to the drawing board and find out, okay, where did I go wrong? How did I miss it? Where did I start missing it? Where did I not get it right? You will not sit down. Stay with that. Stay with it long. Stay with it long. Sister, stay with it. Brother, stay with it long. Don't just rush out. It's an idea. It's an innovation. Fine. Take your time. Learn your mistakes. Learn your mistakes. So that when you go out there, you're not going to fail. You will not be disappointed. At the end, you want to see, okay, how come my own business is not selling and this other one is selling? What are they using to sell? They are not. Yes, some of them are using something to sell. But why don't you do it in such a way that you will not struggle to start looking for something that will support you to sell that thing only, except God? He that gave you that thing. So that whenever you go back to him, he will tell you the area to improve on those things. So that even when those people are using, if they want to now start attacking you or going somewhere to see that your business is not going, it's not going to work, because you know who is working with you, who has given you that idea. You don't start spending money going to native doctors to give you something to support your product or your business. Hear stories. Oh, those rich people that are not in God. Hear stories. They go through hell. Not as if they enjoy them, but that is what they have started with, and that is what they believe, so they have to maintain it. They are not happy. They are not. So God is coming right now to tell us to name those things. Name it. That failure, rename it. Are you still calling it a failure? Are you still calling it a disappointment? Or you're calling it an opportunity for you to reinvent yourself? An opportunity to discover who you are. What you can actually do without 9-to-5 job. What you can actually produce with your own hands without working for somebody. See it as an opportunity to set yourself aside and think. Reinvent. If there's a product or something that you've started doing, don't be in a hurry to introduce that product to people. Don't. Child of God, do not. Don't. It might look as if you're wasting the money, the little money that you're investing so much in this thing, that it will pay. And when you start paying, it will pay big. When I mean big, it's going to pay big. Are you a script writer? You say that you've written so many scripts and nobody is buying. Child of God, if the inspiration is still coming, just keep writing. It doesn't matter. If you like, you can write up to 100 books. And by the time that thing will start flowing, by the time the breakthrough, the door will open, when God knows that you are ready, those 100 scripts that you've written will give you rest. When people will start calling you and asking you to write scripts for them, this is what we are looking at. You go in there and pull out the one that you've written already and give it to them. Maybe you can do one or two you can adjust one or two things from the whatever they are looking at and give it to them. It's not something that you now start writing on because you've written it down. Don't see it as a waste of time. You are financing yourself. Doing it now. Don't be in a rush. Like it is the people that write, for people that are script writers. I heard a story on YouTube here that what's this Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston's The Bodyguard was filmed 15 years after it was written. 15. I'm sure whoever that wrote that thing, that when he was writing that, or she was writing the script, was like, he just didn't just write, he just wrote it and put it away, and for years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15 years. I'm sure at the point the person gave up on that script that won awards. 15 years after it was written. Child of God, don't give up. Keep doing it. You are training yourself. You are brushing yourself, financing yourself, your talent and everything. Don't be in a hurry to rush out. People are singing, you want to go and sing. God has given you have the voice. Train your voice, coach your voice. Watch videos, check the clauses and the fault, the things that the judges, even if you're going for a competition, the kind of things that they don't like, how to, your body language, everything, all those things. Train yourself on those areas. Read those things. Know them. So that you don't get disappointed. Oh, this thing, I didn't think it was, why did I even, people will not start laughing. And let them laugh. They laugh at you. You go back as they are busy laughing, wasting their own time laughing, reading about you, making jest of you. You've gone back to change things. So that by the time you will reinvent yourself, by the time you will come back, your comeback will shock them. They will be like, we thought that this person is finished too. How come? They didn't know that you went back to the person, the source, the person that gave you that in the first place. Now, as you're coming back with a bang. And they are shocked. Child of God, whatsoever you name something, that is going to remain its name. Adam is no longer here. But those animals, those creatures that he named, are still bearing those names. Think about it. Whatsoever that you're taking time right now, looking at, and start renaming them. If you rename them right, when you leave, those names will still remain. Those names will still remain. You don't know this guy. Who? That guy that everybody thought that was finished. That couldn't amount for another. That came out and failed. Have you heard? Oh, you don't know this person's story. I will tell you. Or read about this person's story. How he tried this business so many times and he failed and he refused to give up. People were making jest of him. People were laughing at him. Even people rejected him and said, I beg you, please go, you failure, this one and that one. But he refused to give up. He refused to give up. By the time he came back, now they are looking at his mansion, looking at his product, looking at his, wondering what was going on his mind when the second time that he tried. He came out and the business failed. The business didn't even last for 3 years and he went down and he came back again with another name, with a different thing, and that one failed and he went back onto this particular one now staked. All he did was to go back and learn his mistakes. Where did I make mistakes? Where did I fail? Where did I start failing? Maybe he didn't do his market research. Maybe he didn't take time to know what people will want. he just came up with something and threw that into the market, and people didn't really gel with it, and that was why. So he now decided to do it better this time around. Excuse me. And it came out better. It came out fine. Child of God, it is not too late to rename that circumstances that you're looking at. It is not too late. As you're doing things and you're making mistakes, if it's something that you always forget and you still go back and make that same mistake, when you get there, write them down. You make a mistake, okay, I made a mistake here. So that when you start all over again, when you get there, you look at that thing that you've inked down and said, this was where I made a mistake. Okay, let me try it this other way. God is coming out now and telling us where we are missing it. We all believe that when one person come out and do something and tell us this is the tradition, that is it, all of us will take it. That is the person's discovery. God is equally telling you can discover things yourself by using that person's method. When you're using that person's method, you can get to a point where you will say, okay, this person did this thing this way. Let me try it this other way and see what will become of it. Let me see the result. If I can try it this way, you find out that maybe when you try it, doing it a different way, the end result might be better than what you're looking at. Like Adam, as you're doing those things, watch them. The circumstances that has come to you, watch them. Think. How did this problem even start? When did I start encountering this? How did this problem start? Maybe in a place of work. Where did I excuse me, when did this problem start? Have they been complaining and I wasn't paying attention? Have they been talking to me and I ignored it? Was I told the areas that I was missing and I refused to make corrections? When did it start going wrong? So that if God still wants you to go into another employment, you're not going to take those same mistakes there. But it's mistake that you learned, that if someone can put up this character, it is not something they take lightly or they accept in a working environment. So my next employment, my next job, when I get to my next job, these are the things that I'm not supposed to be doing. I should be doing it this way. These were the corrections given to me. I'll apply them here. Not just that since they fire me, I don't care. I'm going to get another job. I'm going to go to somewhere, and they are not the only one that can. No. No. That is not an attitude of somebody that wants to learn, that somebody that wants to progress, for somebody that wants to grow. You learn. You learn. For you that wants to write a book, you say you have passion for writing books and everything, but you've written down some books and it's not go. Don't give up. Like I said concerning the script writers for movies, keep writing it. Keep writing it. or that you've written one and you've been looking for somebody to for producers, for publishers, and you're not getting it. Since publishers are not coming, start writing another one. Don't worry about the first. Just write another. If another inspiration to write another book, just keep writing them. You might get to a point that one day you meet a publisher that wants to publish your book, and after that, publishing that one and that one sells very well, they will want to, definitely they will ask you for another thing, because you know what you're doing. And so most times, like stories that I've heard or things I've read about people, they will, and by the time your book starts selling, they will now start putting pressure on you to write this, to give them products. If you're not serious, they will not. So the opportunity or the upper hand you will have is that because you've written down so many books, you've written them down, so that once they call for it, you said, okay, this is what I have. Look at it and see if it's going to sell or something. And if like I said, if the inspiration or the idea comes from God, the Holy Spirit, no, my dear, that is his business. He knows who to call. He knows who to contact. He knows who to bring to you to do business with you. You might not just go start looking and seeking and taking up. No. One day somebody will just, you might bump into somebody that will get, you guys will start talking. I'm into publishing. You say, I write books, so I've written so many books and I've looked for a publisher and I've not seen any, and they are there. You might be like, okay, just send me one, let's see. Just send one to me and let's see how it goes. And before you know it, you now become a writer. That is how it is. That is one preparation. When you prepare yourself, success is inevitable. You will succeed. So stop naming your circumstances as, they hate me, they don't like me, my country people are after me, my stepmother wants to kill me, my uncle said he will do this, they hate me. Like Adam, my precious brethren, my wonderful people of God, sit, think. God, now, what next? I know you're saying something. What next? I'm not a failure because you're not a failure. I'm made in your image. What next? God, what do you want me to name it? What's the name? What are we giving this one? Learning how to heal. Learning how to be a provision, a provider, a way maker for somebody. Are you molding me or training me into becoming that fountain that will flow so that people can come and drink through? What exactly, Lord, are you saying? Because just show me how to name this circumstance. How to name it. Is it to rediscover myself? Start seeing it that way. God allowed that circumstance to come your way so that, like Adam, you will name it. And whatsoever you name those circumstances, those situations, that is going to remain their name. That is going to remain their names until you rename them. That's exactly what they are going to be. So today, child of God, whatever you're going through, you know them. I don't. You do. It's something that you don't even want to tell somebody else. Start renaming it. Start seeing it as a breakthrough, your jackpot to success, your gateway to the top. Get to the top by renaming your circumstances, renaming your situation, renaming that thing that you're looking at, and all you've been looking at is failure, bad, not good. He had to kill me. He had to destroy me. He had to destroy my marriage. He had to destroy my children. This sickness wants to kill me. This sickness wants to make me a healer. It's teaching me how to become a healer. This loss is teaching me how to become a good manager. How to organize myself next time. So that I don't just go out there and make mistakes. How to take out time to go through things, understand it properly before I step out and do them. God gave Adam the opportunity to see what he will name them. Whether Adam will understand that he's actually made and created in God's image. God knew that day is light. He didn't say, let there be rain, and light came. No. He said, let there be light. Light. That is what he wants to say. He called it light. Light. Because that is what will give people a vision, avenue to see where they are going without bumping into things. He said, let there be light. And he saw light. Adam looked at looked at lion. How he acts. How it behaves. I said, no. Can't just name this thing anyhow. It's different. It's fearless. It doesn't stress. Doesn't struggle. But whenever he goes out there and hunts, always gets a prey. There's something different with this one. Equally, when a situation or a circumstances come to you, like, I've seen something bigger and stronger than this one. Okay, this one, who are you? What are you? Okay. You've been here for a while now. Okay. I've prayed about you. You're not going away. That means you are part of me. You are part of my growth. So you are now an opportunity. You are now part of my course, my training. You are now part of my subject course. Okay. Well, what am I going to name you? What have I been praying for? What was my last prayer? What was the last thing I asked God for? Okay. Okay, you came in this way. Right. Spirit of God, now that you've given us the subject or the course, I'm ready. Let's go. Because you named it right, he will definitely step in and start teaching you and training you on how to handle it. Before you know it, that course will be over. And you will smile again. You'll be happy again. And not only coming out of it, you'll come out of it loaded with knowledge and information that is going to change your entire life. That is going to help you become that which God has set you on this earth to become. Child of God, I hope this message blesses you. I hope you find it helpful. Like I always say, my beautiful people, if it does, please kindly share. For there is someone out there that needs to hear this, so that they too can be delivered. Deliverance, like I said before, is not only when they put their hand on you, their legs on you and pray on you. No. Deliverance is in so many ways. As you're getting revelation, as you're hearing messages like this, you're getting delivered from that tradition, from that ignorance, from that bondage that the enemy has used ignorant to peg you. Share so that somebody else, your brother, your sister in Christ, can be delivered as well from hearing this kind of messages that can deliver us. Sometimes it's not mostly you praying 68 hours, it's good to pray, but it will get to a point that God will start teaching you. Everything is not all about talking to him. It's something you can do. If you only allow him to train you, so that whenever things comes to you, he will just enlighten you. He will put a thought on you, and when you start thinking that thing, that is the solution. And when you apply those things, when you start applying those things that he's teaching you and showing you, it's answered prayers. Most time it's not about you don't have to fast or pray or go on, no. But by doing little things like this can also be a deliverance. So share, so that our brothers and sisters out there will understand that we've done it wrongly for a very long time. And God is coming right now to teach us, to help us understand how those things work without us going round and round and struggling over something that wouldn't have taken us that long had we had the revelation or understanding how all these things operate. I pray the blessings of God over your life. I pray that his favor will continue to be your portion. I pray that whatsoever prayer request that you present before him shall be met. Nothing missing, nothing broken. In Jesus' wonderful and marvelous name I've prayed. Shalom.